Welcome dear friends to my video lecture on question bank for Unit 1 in education, that is education studies. Almost I have exhausted all the topics by giving very important questions and explanations also to you. I'm sure you will enjoy this. You are most welcome to give us suggestions so that I am able to give something more than what I have given just now. All these questions are expected in my opinion because something new, and I'm sure you will be enlightened into this Unit 1, that is education studies. Kindly subscribe if you like this video so that my videos become little more valuable, so that others also will value my video. For that reason I request you, in case you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe. It will give me certain amount of boost to produce more and more videos, high quality videos for you. Thank you very much dear friends. Let us enter straight away into the topic. This will be completely in English, so those who cannot follow other the Tamil or Hindi or any other languages, you are most welcome to follow this one. I'm sure you will be very much helped, by in English language. I'm explaining everything in English. Let us straight away enter into the topic. Dear friends, in Unit 1, Education Studies, that is, we are talking about the education paper 09. The meaning, merits, types and education implications of Samkhya philosophy. Only questions, expected questions and explanations are given. So the entire unit will be treated just now. If there is any technical problem, I will inform you. Maybe it will be split into two more videos perhaps. If everything goes on well, within one video I will be able to finish the entire thing. It has got some 350, around 340, 350 questions. Let us straight away enter into the topic. We are talking about Samkhya philosophy. What is the oldest Hindu philosophical system? Yoga, Vedanta, Samkhya, Vaisheshika. That is Samkhya. Samkhya is the oldest Hindu philosophical system that dates back to the 6th century before Christ. What does Samkhya philosophy teach about the relationship between the individual and the universal soul? A. The individual is part of the universal soul. B. The individual is separate from the universal soul. C. The individual is connected to the universal soul. D. The individual is independent of the universal soul. By this time you would have guessed the answer. The individual is separate from the universal soul. So according to Samkhya philosophy, the individual soul is separate from the universal soul. The individual soul is responsible for its own liberation. What is the goal of Samkhya philosophy? A. To achieve liberation from suffering. B. To gain knowledge of the material world. C. To gain knowledge of the spiritual world. D. To create a perfect society. So, what is the goal of Samkhya philosophy? That is to achieve liberation from suffering. The ultimate goal of Samkhya philosophy is to achieve liberation from suffering, or moksha, attaining moksha. It is believed that this can be achieved through yoga and meditation. According to Samkhya philosophy, how many categories of existence are there? Sure, you know that. Two. According to Samkhya philosophy, there are two categories of existence. Purusha, that is soul, and Prakriti, that is nature. So Purusha and Prakriti are two categories of existence according to Samkhya philosophy. What is the relationship between Purusha and Prakriti? A. They are one and the same. B. They are separate but interconnected. C. They are in competition with each other. D. They are completely independent. What should be the correct answer? They are separate but interconnected. So that is the correct answer. According to Samkhya philosophy, Purusha and Prakriti are separate but interconnected. Purusha is the eternal, unchanging consciousness, while Prakriti is the ever-changing material world. What is the purpose of yoga according to Samkhya philosophy? A. To unite the individual with the universal soul. B. To gain knowledge of the material world. C. To gain mastery over the body. D. To achieve liberation from suffering. What should be the correct answer? To achieve liberation from suffering. This we already seen that. The purpose of yoga according to Samkhya philosophy is to achieve liberation from suffering. It is believed that it can be achieved through yoga and meditation. What is the source of suffering according to Samkhya philosophy? A. Ignorance. B. Attachment. C. Karma. D. Greed. The correct answer will be ignorance. According to Samkhya philosophy, the source of suffering is ignorance or avidya. Ignorance is caused by the misidentification of the individual with the material world. The wrong connection with the material world, in other words. What is the purpose of the 8 limbs of yoga? A. To gain mastery over the body. B. To attain liberation from suffering. C. To gain knowledge of the material world. D. To unite the individual with the universal soul. What should be the correct answer? To attain liberation from suffering. That is the correct word. The purpose of the 8 limbs of yoga according to Samkhya philosophy is to attain liberation from suffering or moksha. The 8 limbs are yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana and samadhi. These are the 8 limbs according to Samkhya philosophy. 8 limbs of yoga according to Samkhya philosophy. The 8 limbs of yoga are a foundational framework outlined in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. They provide a comprehensive guide to living a meaningful and purposeful life. Here are the names and brief meanings of each limb. Yama, that is, the meaning is ethical discipline. Yama means ethical discipline. Yama refers to the ethical standards and integrity in one's actions. It includes principles like non-violence, ahimsa, truthfulness, satya, non-stealing, asteya, celibacy or sexual restraint, brahmacharya, and non-possessiveness or non-greed, aparigraha. So yama means this ethical standards. Niyama, self-discipline. Niyama focuses on self-discipline and personal observances. It includes principles like cleanliness, saucha, contentment, santosha, austerity or self-discipline, tapas, self-study or introspection, swatyaya, and surrender to a higher power, Ishvara Pranitana, Ishvara Pranitana, surrender to a higher power. So this is niyama, self-discipline. Of course, Sanskrit words nice to pronounce correctly as. Asana, physical postures. Asana means physical postures. Asana refers to the practice of physical postures in yoga. It involves various body positions designed to promote physical health, flexibility, strength and balance, as well as to prepare the body for meditation. Then pranayama. Pranayama means breath control. Pranayama involves breath control techniques aimed at regulating and extending the breath to enhance vitality and mental clarity. It helps in cultivating awareness, focus and relaxation through conscious breathing. That is pranayama. Then pratyahara, withdrawal of senses. Pratyahara. Pratyahara is the practice of withdrawing the senses from external stimuli and turning one's focus inward. It involves consciously detaching from sensory experiences to cultivate inner awareness and mental illness. Then dharana. Dharana, concentration. Dharana refers to the practice of concentration, focusing the mind on a single point or object of meditation. It involves training the mind to sustain attention and prevent the distractions, laying the groundwork for deeper states of meditation. Then dhyana, meditation. Dhyana is the uninterrupted flow of concentration, leading to a state of meditation where the mind is fully absorbed in the object of focus. It involves cultivating a state of inner stillness, heightened awareness and profound tranquility. Peace, profound peace. Then samadhi, state of absorption. Samadhi is the ultimate goal of yoga, a state of profound absorption and union with the object of meditation or the divine. It is a state of pure awareness where the practitioner experiences a sense of oneness with the universe, transcending individuality and ego. That is Samadhi, state of absorption. Then, now next question. What is the meaning of Sanskrit term Samkhya? A. Knowledge. B. Liberation. C. Union. D. Self-control. That is knowledge. The Sanskrit term Samkhya means knowledge. It is derived from the Sanskrit root Sam, which means to know. What is the relationship between Samkhya and Yoga? A. Samkhya is the foundation of Yoga. B. Samkhya and Yoga are two separate systems. C. Samkhya is the practice of Yoga. D. Samkhya is the goal of Yoga. Which is the right one? Samkhya is the foundation of Yoga. Samkhya is the foundation of Yoga. It is a philosophical system upon which the practice of Yoga is based. What is the main goal of Samkhya Yoga philosophy? A. To achieve enlightenment. B. To achieve liberation. C. To achieve spiritual mastery. D. To achieve physical mastery. So, what is the main goal of Samkhya Yoga philosophy? That is to achieve liberation. The ultimate goal of Samkhya Yoga philosophy is to achieve liberation from the cycle of rebirth and death. It is believed that by achieving liberation, one can attain the highest level of spiritual realization. What is the ultimate source of power in Samkhya Yoga philosophy? A. The mind. B. The body. C. Prana. D. Purusha. What is the ultimate source of power in Samkhya Yoga philosophy? That is Purusha, almost like God. In Samkhya Yoga philosophy, the ultimate source of power is Purusha, which is the ultimate reality. It is believed that Purusha is the source of all existence and the ultimate truth. What is the main difference between Samkhya Yoga and Vedanta? A. Samkhya Yoga emphasizes action, while Vedanta emphasizes knowledge. B. Samkhya Yoga emphasizes knowledge, while Vedanta emphasizes action. C. Samkhya Yoga emphasizes the body, while Vedanta emphasizes the mind. D. Samkhya Yoga emphasizes the mind, while Vedanta emphasizes the body. Which is the right one? Samkhya Yoga emphasizes action, while Vedanta emphasizes knowledge. Samkhya Yoga emphasizes action as a means to achieve liberation, while Vedanta emphasizes knowledge as a means to achieve liberation. What is the purpose of the 8 limbs of Samkhya Yoga, which we have seen just now? A. To achieve physical mastery. B. To achieve spiritual mastery. C. To achieve liberation. D. To achieve enlightenment. The correct answer will be to achieve liberation, that we know. The 8 limbs of Samkhya Yoga are designed to help practitioners achieve liberation from the cycle of rebirth and death. The 8 limbs are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. What is the goal of the practice of asana in Samkhya Yoga? A. To strengthen the body. B. To increase flexibility. C. To achieve liberation. D. To achieve enlightenment. The correct answer will be to achieve liberation, of course. I mean, most of the answers that will be the correct one, no? Because liberation, that is what, Samkhya Yoga talks about. Liberation from the recycle of birth and death, that is liberation. The goal of the practice of asana in Samkhya Yoga is to help practitioners in Samkhya Yoga is to help practitioners achieve liberation from the cycle of rebirth and death. Asanas are physical postures that help to cultivate physical and mental strength, flexibility and balance, which are all important for achieving liberation. What is the purpose of pranayama in Samkhya Yoga? A. To increase physical strength. B. To increase mental clarity. C. To achieve liberation. D. To achieve enlightenment. What is the purpose of pranayama? To increase mental clarity. That is the correct answer. Mental alertness, in other words. Pranayama is a breathing technique used in Samkhya Yoga to cultivate mental clarity and focus. By focusing on the breath, practitioners can increase their awareness and clarity of mind, which is important for achieving liberation. According to Samkhya Yoga philosophy, what is the cause of suffering? A. Ignorance, B. Greed, C. Attachment, D. Fear. That is ignorance. According to Samkhya Yoga philosophy, the cause of suffering is ignorance. Ignorance is defined as not having a true understanding of reality, which leads to attachment and fear, which in turn leads to suffering. So ignorance is defined as not having a true understanding of reality. So ignorance is nothing but absence of the understanding of reality. Otherwise, no understanding of reality. So this ignorance leads to attachment and fear, which in turn leads to suffering. So according to Samkhya Yoga, the cause of suffering is ignorance. In other words, avidya. What is the purpose of the practice of dhyana in Samkhya Yoga? A. To increase physical strength. B. To increase mental clarity. C. To achieve liberation. D. To achieve enlightenment. That is B. The purpose of the practice of dhyana in Samkhya Yoga, that is to increase mental clarity, mental alertness. Now let us analyze some questions, in Buddhism philosophy. What is the primary source of Buddhist teachings? A. The Four Noble Truths. B. The Tripitaka. D. The Sutras. So the right answer will be Tripitakas or Tripitaka. The Tripitaka or the three baskets is a collection of Buddhist teachings consisting of the Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka and Abhidhamma Pitaka. It is considered the primary source of Buddhist teaching. These three is a collection of three set of teachings by Buddha. Collection of Buddhist teaching consisting of Sutta Pitaka, the Vinaya Pitaka and Abhidhamma Pitaka. It is considered the primary source of Buddhist teaching. What is the main purpose of the concept of darshan in Buddhism? A. To gain wisdom. B. To obtain enlightenment. C. To experience devotion. D. To seek knowledge. That is to experience devotion. That is the idea here. No fans or sweating almost. To experience devotion. That is the correct answer. Darshan is the practice of viewing a sacred object or figure in order to gain spiritual insight and experience devotion. It is a central concept in Buddhism and it is believed to help individuals gain enlightenment and wisdom. So, what is the main purpose of the concept of darshan? That is to help individuals gain enlightenment and wisdom. Who wrote the Dhammapada? A. Siddhartha Gautama. B. Mahakasapa. C. Ananda. D. Nagasena. Mahakasapa. Who wrote Dhammapada? He is Mahakasapa. The Dhammapada is a Buddhist scripture attributed to the elder Mahakasapa. The text is composed of 423 verses and it is divided into 26 chapters. So, Buddhist scripture, Dhammapada is the Buddhist scripture consisting of 423 verses and having 26 chapters. Who wrote that? That is Mahakasapa. What is the second noble truth? There are four noble truths. What is the second one? So we must know all the four noble truths one by one. By memory we must keep it. What is the second noble truth? A. The cause of suffering is attachment. B. Suffering can be ended through the four noble truths. C. Suffering is caused by ignorance. D. The cause of suffering is desire. So, what is the second noble truth? The cause of suffering is desire. The second noble truth states that the cause of suffering is desire or craving. It explains that suffering is caused by wanting something that cannot be attained or by wanting to avoid something that cannot be avoided. Very interesting, no? Suffering is caused by wanting something that cannot be attained. So unreachable somebody wants, or reachable they miss it. Both ways suffering comes. So that is the idea here. Now, what is the third noble truth? A. The cause of suffering is attachment. B. Suffering can be ended through the four noble truths. Suffering is caused by ignorance. The end of suffering is possibility. So what is the third noble truth out of these four? The end of suffering is possible. That is the third, noble truth. The end of suffering is possible. The third noble truth states that the end of suffering is possible. It explains that suffering can be ended through following the eightfold path and living a life of wisdom and compassion. What is the purpose of the eightfold path? A. To obtain enlightenment, B. To end suffering, C. To gain knowledge, D. To experience devotion. So the correct answer will be to obtain enlightenment. The eightfold path is the path outlined by Siddhartha Gautama to obtain enlightenment. It consists of 8 practices that must be followed in order to reach enlightenment. What is the fourth noble truth? A. The cause of suffering is attachment. B. Suffering can be ended through the 4 noble truths. C. Suffering is caused by ignorance. D. The path to the end of suffering is eightfold path. Yes. The correct answer, the path to the end of suffering. The fourth noble truth states that the path to the end of suffering is the eightfold path. It explains that following the eightfold path will help individuals to end suffering and obtain enlightenment. So the path to the end of suffering is eightfold path given by Buddhism. Now, what is the Vinaya Pitaka? A collection of Buddhist teachings. B. A set of rules for Buddhist monks. C. A set of meditative practices. D. A set of rituals for lay people, ordinary people. Answer: a set of rules for Buddhist monks. The Vinaya Pitaka is one of the 3 baskets of Buddhist teachings and is a set of rules and regulations for Buddhist monks. It outlines the rules and guidelines that must be followed by monks in order to reach enlightenment. So this Vinaya Pitaka for monks, set of rules for Buddhist monks. I mean Buddhist, sannyasi, Buddhist sages. That is the idea. Buddhist monks. What is the Abhidhamma Pitaka? Abhidhamma Pitaka. A set of rituals for lay people, ordinary people. B. A set of meditative practices. C. A set of rules for Buddhist monks. D. A collection of Buddhist teaching. What is the correct answer? It is a collection of Buddhist teaching. The Abhidhamma Pitaka is one of the 3 baskets of Buddhist teachings, and it is a collection of teachings on topics such as philosophy, ethics, and psychology. It is considered to be a deeper and more philosophical explorations of the teachings found in the Sutta and Vinaya Pitakas. What is the Buddhist concept of voidness? Voidness means emptiness. A state of perfect awareness. B. The absence of all physical phenomena. C. The realization that nothing has inherent, innate existence. D. A state of unity with the universe. Correct answer will be the realization that nothing has inherent existence. In other words, sunya, emptiness. So the realization that nothing has inherent existence. As such, it will not exist, in other words. The Buddhist concept of voidness or emptiness, sunya, is the understanding that nothing has an inherent existence and that everything is composed of interdependent parts. This concept is sometimes referred to as emptiness or non-attachment. What is the goal of meditation in Buddhist philosophy? A. To reach an enlightened state. B. To cultivate a sense of inner peace. C. To gain knowledge of the universe. D. To attain nirvana. So what is the goal of meditation in Buddhist philosophy? It's to attain nirvana. That is liberation, in other words. The goal of meditation in Buddhist philosophy is to attain nirvana, which is a state of perfect peace and freedom from suffering. Through the practice of meditation, practitioners strive to develop a deep understanding of the true nature of reality and to be liberated from the cycle of rebirth and suffering. That is enlightenment. Nirvana means enlightenment. What are the 4 noble truths in Buddhism? What are the 4 noble truths in Buddhism? Just to see for yourself all the 4 options. The answers will be suffering, cessation of suffering. I mean, avoidance of suffering, or a cessation, no more suffering. Cessation of suffering, the path to cessation, the noble eightfold path. So these are the four noble truths in Buddhism. Is it so? Right. Suffering, cessation of suffering, the path to cessation, the noble eightfold path. These are the four noble truths according to Buddhism. The four noble truths are one of the core teachings of Buddhism. Suffering, cessation of suffering, the end of suffering, the path to cessation, the path to end suffering, the noble eightfold path. That is the remedy, right? So the four noble truths are one of the core teachings of Buddhism. These truths are: suffering exists, suffering has a cause, suffering can be ended, and the noble eightfold path is the path to the cessation of suffering. So we have to understand all these technical words in Buddhism, all important words. What are the three jewels of Buddhism? What are the three jewels of Buddhism? Just to see all the options. The answer will be the three jewels of Buddhism means the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. The Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha are the three jewels of Buddhism. The three jewels of Buddhism are the Buddha, the Dharma, that is the teachings of the Buddha, that is called the Dharma, and Sangha, the spiritual community. All the monks live together, so that is spiritual community, Sangha. These three things are considered to be of the utmost importance for Buddhist practitioners and are often used as a source of guidance and inspiration. Now, what is the purpose of the Noble Eightfold Path? A. To cultivate compassion and wisdom, to gain insight into the Buddhist teachings, to end the cycle of suffering and rebirth, to attain enlightenment. What should be the correct answer? The purpose of the Noble Eightfold Path: to attain enlightenment, nirvana, to attain enlightenment. The Noble Eightfold Path is the fourth of the four noble truths in Buddhism. It is a system of ethics and principles which, when followed, can lead to enlightenment. The Noble Eightfold Path consists of right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Again, I repeat, the Noble Eightfold Path consists of these eight aspects: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Who was the founder of Jainism? A. Mahavira, B. Siddhartha Gautama, C. Krishna, D. Radha. Mahavira, of course we know about it. Mahavira was a spiritual teacher who lived in ancient India and is widely accepted as the founder of Jainism. What does the term darshan refer to in Jainism? A. Seeing a spiritual leader. B. Understanding the core principles of Jainism. C. Celebrating a religious festival. D. Attaining enlightenment. What does the term darshan refer to in Jainism? It is seeing a spiritual leader, very important one. Something different from other isms, other spiritual journeys. This is seeing a spiritual leader, that is called darshan. So in Jainism, the term darshan refers to the act of seeing and being in the presence of a spiritual leader, such as a Jain monk or nun. According to Jainism, what is the ultimate goal of life? A. Wealth, B. Fame, C. Enlightenment, D. Happiness. That is enlightenment. According to Jainism, the ultimate goal of life is to achieve liberation from the cycle of birth and death and attain spiritual enlightenment. What is the primary source of knowledge in Jainism? A. Reason, B. Scriptures, C. Experience, D. Faith. That is scriptures. Jainism, like many other religions, places primary emphasis on scripture as a source of knowledge and truth. What is naturalism? Of course, just to go through all the options. So correct answer will be naturalism is a philosophy that holds that all phenomena can be explained without the need for appeal to supernatural or spiritual forces. So they don't count supernatural or spiritual forces, So there is no need for it. In other words, so all phenomena can be explained, in nature. That's the idea here. So naturalism is a philosophical belief that all phenomena, the entire reality, can be explained without reference to supernatural or spiritual forces. This is in contrast to other philosophical beliefs such as theism. Theism, or one who believes in God, which hold that some phenomena may be explained by supernatural or spiritual forces, but in naturalism they don't count. These supernatural or spiritual forces, they don't count. All the reality can be explained through nature. That is the idea given by naturalism philosophy. What is the main difference between naturalism and positivism? Right. What is the correct answer? Positivism argues that all phenomena can be explained without the need for appeal to supernatural or spiritual forces, while naturalism argues that all phenomena can be explained through natural forces. Naturalism is a philosophical belief that all phenomena can be explained without reference to supernatural or spiritual forces. In contrast, positivism is a philosophical belief that all phenomena can be explained through natural forces. In other words, naturalism exclusively doesn't talk about supernatural or spiritual forces. Simply they don't count, that's all. Whereas this positivism is a complete denial of the supernatural or spiritual forces. So all the phenomena can be explained through natural forces according to positivism. Naturalism, even though they don't reject as such, every other phenomena can be explained by nature. So there is a subtle difference here. So the main difference between naturalism and positivism is that naturalism holds that all phenomena can be explained without the need for appeal to supernatural or spiritual forces, while positivism holds that all phenomena can be explained through natural forces. What is the main goal of naturalism? A. To explain all phenomena through natural forces. B. To explain all phenomena through supernatural or spiritual forces. C. To explain all phenomena without the need for appeal to supernatural or spiritual forces. To explain all phenomena through spiritual forces, the D. So which is the correct one? What is the main goal of naturalism? To explain all phenomena without the need for appeal to supernatural or spiritual forces. The main goal of naturalism is to explain all phenomena without the need to appeal for supernatural or spiritual forces. Naturalism is a philosophical belief that all phenomena can be explained without a reference to supernatural or spiritual forces. This is in contrast to other philosophical beliefs such as theism, which hold that some phenomena may be explained by supernatural or spiritual forces. What is the main focus of naturalism? A. To explain all phenomena through natural forces. B. To explain all phenomena through supernatural or spiritual forces. C. To explain all phenomena without the need for appeal to supernatural or spiritual forces. D. To explain all phenomena through spiritual forces. The correct answer: to explain all phenomena through natural forces. The main focus of naturalism is to explain all phenomena through natural forces. Naturalism is a philosophical belief that all phenomena can be explained without a reference to supernatural or spiritual forces. Thus, naturalism holds that all phenomena can be explained through natural forces rather than supernatural or spiritual forces. What is the main argument of naturalism? All phenomena can be explained without the need for appeal to supernatural or spiritual force. That is the correct answer. The main argument of naturalism is that all phenomena can be explained without the need for appeal to supernatural or spiritual forces. So, of course, we already explained to you. So that is the correct answer. Naturalism is a philosophical belief that all phenomena can be explained without reference to supernatural or spiritual forces. Now, what is the opposite of naturalism? A. Supernaturalism. B. Spiritualism. C. Positivism. D. Theism. Theism. The opposite of naturalism is theism. Naturalism is a philosophical belief that all phenomena can be explained without reference to supernatural or spiritual forces. In contrast, theism is a philosophical belief that some phenomena may be explained by supernatural or spiritual forces. Thus, naturalism and theism are opposite philosophical beliefs. What is the main criticism of naturalism? A. That it doesn't account for supernatural or spiritual forces. B. That it doesn't account for natural forces. C. That it doesn't account for the complexity of the universe. D. That it doesn't account for the existence of God. So what is the question? What is the main criticism of naturalism? That it does not account for supernatural or spiritual forces. That is the main criticism against naturalism. The main criticism of naturalism is that it doesn't account for supernatural or spiritual forces. Naturalism is a philosophical belief that all phenomena can be explained without reference to supernatural or spiritual forces. Thus, some critics argue that naturalism does not account for the possibility of supernatural or spiritual forces and is therefore incomplete. That is how some people criticize naturalism. What is the concept of Anakantavada in Jainism? Anakantavada. There is many, there is multiple, perspectives. Anakantavada. A. The belief in multiple gods. B. The belief that truth can be found in different forms. C. The belief in a single God. D. The belief that truth is absolute. The correct answer will be the belief that truth can be found in different forms. That is the correct answer. Anakantavada is the Jain doctrine of non-absolutism, which states that truth and reality can be viewed from different perspectives and can be expressed in different forms. I hope this goes on well. Right. What is the Jain practice of ahimsa? A. Worship of multiple gods. B. Non-violence towards all living beings. C. Refusal to eat meat. D. Restriction of pleasures. So what is the Jain practice of ahimsa? That is non-violence towards all living beings. Ahimsa is a key concept in Jainism which emphasizes non-violence towards all living beings, not only human beings. What is the concept of Sayatvada? Sayatvada in Jainism. Sayatvada in Jainism. A. Belief in multiple gods. B. Belief that truth can be found in different forms. C. Belief in a single God. D. Belief that truth is absolute. The correct answer will be belief that truth can be found in different forms. That is Sayatvada. Sayatvada is a Jain doctrine of relativity which states truth and reality can be viewed from different perspectives and can be expressed in different forms. What is the Jain practice of tapas? A. Worship of multiple gods. B. Non-violence towards all living beings. C. Refusal to eat meat. D. Restriction of pleasures. What is the Jain practice of tapas? That is restriction of pleasures. Tapas is a Jain practice of self-discipline which involves the restriction of physical and mental pleasures. What is the concept of aparigraha in Jainism? A. Non-attachment to material possessions. B. Non-violence towards all living beings. C. Refusal to eat meat. D. Restriction of pleasures. That is non-attachment to material possessions. That is the concept of aparigraha in Jainism. That is non-attachment to material possessions. Aparigraha is the Jain practice of non-attachment to material possessions and the release of attachment to the material world. What is the concept of Samyak Darshan? Samyak Darshan in Jainism. A. Right view. B. Right action. C. Right speech. D. Right knowledge. Which is the right one? Samyak Darshan. That means a right view. Samyak Darshan is the Jain practice of right view which involves having a correct understanding of the nature of reality. What is the ultimate goal of Jainism? A. Moksha, B. Nirvana, C. Samsara, D. Enlightenment. Moksha, the ultimate goal of Jainism is moksha. Moksha is the ultimate goal of Jainism, which is the liberation from the cycle of rebirth and suffering. The aim of Jainism is to attain the ultimate spiritual liberation and freedom from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. What are the three jewels of Jainism? Just see for yourself all the options. What are the three jewels of Jainism? I hope you have found out. So answer will be right belief, in other words right faith, right knowledge and right contact. So right faith or belief, right knowledge and right contact. So these are the three jewels of Jainism. Please once and for all you know this, because all these things are very important as far as the exam is concerned. Right belief, right knowledge and right contact, behavior. Right behavior, in other words. So these three jewels of Jainism: right belief, right knowledge and right contact, right behavior, in other words. The three jewels of Jainism are right belief or right faith, right knowledge and right contact or right behavior. These jewels are the foundation of Jainism and represent the core values and teachings of Jainism. Right belief refers to having faith in the teachings of Jainism and the path of liberation. Right knowledge refers to understanding the truth and reality of existence and the path of liberation. Right contact refers to living a life that is in accordance with the teachings of Jainism. So all these things are, all three jewels are explained. Yes. What are the 5 main principles of Jainism? See for yourself all the options. What are the 5 main principles of Jainism? So correct answer will be Anakandavada, Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya and Aparigraha. So these are the 5 main principles of Jainism, but we must know the meanings of each word. Anakandavada, different perspectives. Reality can be seen through different forms. In other words, Ahimsa, non-violence; Satya, truthfulness; Asteya, non-stealing; Aparigraha, Tabas. Last time we just saw Aparigraha means, yeah, we will have it. The 5 main principles of Jainism are Anakandavada, Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Aparigraha. Aparigraha is the principle of non-possession or non-greed, no desire, no? That is Aparigraha. So, the 5 main principles of Jainism are Anakandavada, Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya and Aparigraha. Anakandavada refers to the belief that truth is multifaceted and can be seen from different perspectives. Ahimsa is the principle of non-violence and non-injury to all living beings. Satya is the principle of truthfulness and honesty. Asteya is the principle of non-stealing. Aparigraha is the principle of non-possession and non-attachment. What is darshan in Jainism? Darshan in Jainism: A. The practice of meditation; B. The practice of ethical living; C. The practice of self-realization; D. The practice of seeing and being seen by the Tirthankaras, gurus, in other words. The practice, so the correct answer will be the practice of seeing and being seen by the Tirthankaras. That is darshan in Jainism. Tirthankaras means seers or sages, monks, no? That is the idea here. Darshan in Jainism is the practice of seeing and being seen by the Tirthankaras or enlightened gurus, beings. It is believed that the Tirthankaras have the ability to transmit spiritual energy to those who come to see them, which can lead to spiritual enlightenment. This practice is seen as an important part of Jainism, as it allows a person to receive spiritual guidance and inspiration from the Tirthankaras. So that is the idea here, the practice of seeing and being seen by the Tirthankara. Now, what is the concept of Anakandavada in Jainism? What is the concept of Anakandavada in Jainism? So just see for yourself all the 4 options. So the correct answer will be the belief that the truth can be seen from different perspectives. Anakantavada is the concept that truth can be seen from different perspectives. This concept is an important part of Jainism as it emphasizes the importance of understanding different perspectives and points of view. Jainism teaches that truth is multifaceted. In other words, many. Truth is many-sided, multifaceted, and can be seen from various angles. This concept allows for the consideration of multiple points of view and encourages an open-minded approach to understanding the truth. Yeah. What is the Islamic concept of knowledge? What is the Islamic concept of knowledge? A. Knowing Allah's will. B. Acquiring religious education. C. Acquiring secular knowledge. D. Knowing the Quran. So the correct answer will be acquiring secular knowledge. Islamic concept of knowledge, acquiring secular knowledge. They are very practical in fact. Acquiring secular knowledge. According to Islamic philosophy, knowledge is the key to understanding the world and living a life of purpose. Accordingly, Muslims are encouraged to pursue knowledge regardless of whether it is religious or secular. So they are encouraged to pursue knowledge. What is the Islamic concept of Darshan? A. Knowing the Quran. B. Knowing Allah's will. C. Acquiring religious education. D. Being in the presence of Allah. So the correct answer will be being in the presence of Allah. That is the Islamic concept of Darshan, being in the presence of Allah. Darshan is a Sanskrit term that translates to sight and refers to the concept of being in the presence of God. In Islam, this concept is known as the divine presence or the presence of Allah, and it is the ultimate goal of all Muslims to be in the presence of Allah. That's why 5 times they pray, every day they namaz, they do 5 times. According to Islamic philosophy, what is the purpose of knowledge? A. To achieve salvation. B. To achieve spiritual enlightenment. C. To gain spiritual power. D. To gain worldly power. That is to achieve spiritual enlightenment. That is the purpose of knowledge. According to Islamic philosophy, knowledge is the key to understanding the world and living a life of purpose. Yes, it is seen as a means to spiritual enlightenment as it allows us to gain insight into the nature of Allah and the world. What is the Islamic view of the relationship between knowledge and Darshan? A. Knowledge is the path to Darshan. B. Darshan is the path to knowledge. C. Knowledge and Darshan are intertwined. D. Knowledge and Darshan are unrelated. So what is the correct answer for what is the Islamic view of the relationship between knowledge and Darshan? That is, knowledge and Darshan are intertwined. Intertwined means interconnected, in other words. Islamic philosophy views knowledge and Darshan as interconnected, as knowledge is seen as a path to Darshan, and Darshan is seen as a path to knowledge. Knowledge allows us to gain insight into the nature of Allah, while Darshan allows us to experience the divine presence. What is the Arabic word for knowledge? A. Marifa. B. Ilm. C. Hikmah. D. Ula. Ilm. Ilm is the Arabic word for knowledge. That is the correct answer for knowledge. Ilm. Ilm is the Arabic word for knowledge. It is derived from the word alima, which means to know or to have knowledge. Alima. From that it comes ilm. Then, what type of knowledge is derived from the Quran and Sunnah? What type of knowledge is derived from the Quran and Sunnah? A. Rational. B. Pragmatic. C. Islamic. D. Personal. That is Islamic. Islamic knowledge is derived from 2 primary sources, the Quran and the Sunnah. The Quran is the holy book of Islam, and the Sunnah is the collection of sayings, teachings, and actions of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. Islamic knowledge is derived from 2 primary sources, the Quran and the Sunnah. So the Quran is the holy book of Islam. Sunnah is the collection of sayings, teachings, and actions of the Prophet Muhammad. What is the name of the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on reason? A. Tawhid, B. Usul al-Fiqh, C. Kalam, D. Maqasid al-Sharia. What is the name of the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on reason? That is Kalam. Kalam is the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on reason. It is also known as Islamic theology, and it is concerned with the fundamental beliefs and doctrines of Islam. Kalam. So the Kalam is the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on reason. Yeah, that is the correct answer. Now, what is the name of the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on revelation? A. Tawhid, B. Usul al-Fiqh, C. Kalam, D. Maqasid al-Sharia. Tawhid. Tawhid is the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on revelation, not reason, revelation. It is concerned with the unity of God and the oneness of His will. So there are two things here. That is, Kalam is the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on reason. Whereas this Tawhid is the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on revelation. So that is revealed. And revelation means that is revealed by God. It is concerned with the unity of God and the oneness of His will. Now, what is the name of the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on the principles of Sharia? A. Tawhid, B. Usul al-Fiqh, C. Kalam, D. Maqasid al-Sharia. Usul al-Fiqh, that is the name of the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on the principle of Sharia. That is, Usul al-Fiqh is the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on the principles of Sharia. It is concerned with understanding the foundations of Islamic law and is based on the Quran, the Sunnah, and the consensus of the scholars. So you must understand this word, that is Usul al-Fiqh. It is the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on the principles of Sharia. It is concerned with understanding the foundations of Islamic law. And it is based on the Quran, the Sunnah, and the consensus of the scholars. Unanimous decision by the scholars, consensus of the scholars. What is the name of the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on the purposes of Sharia? What is the name of the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on the purposes of Sharia? A. Tawhid, B. Usul al-Fiqh, C. Kalam, D. Maqasid al-Sharia. This is Maqasid al-Sharia. What is the name of the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on the purposes of Sharia? Maqasid al-Sharia is the Islamic philosophy of knowledge that is based on the purposes of Sharia. It is concerned with understanding the goals and purposes of Islamic law, and it is based on the Quran, the Sunnah, and the consensus of the scholars. You can also verify this in the internet. Okay, so I hope it is quite logical and it is correct. Sometimes there is a possibility of errors here and there. Sometimes if you feel that it should be checked, you can do so by entering into the internet. Right. What is the main goal of darshan? A. To understand the divine, B. To achieve moksha, C. To practice yoga, D. To meditate. That is to achieve moksha. That is the main goal of darshan. The main goal of darshan is to achieve moksha, which is the liberation from the cycle of reincarnation, that is rebirth and suffering. It is believed that by attaining moksha, one can achieve union with the divine. What type of knowledge is offered by the Upanishads? A. Pragmatic, B. Rational, C. Mystic, D. Personal. That is mystic knowledge. What type of knowledge is offered by the Upanishads? Mystic. The Upanishads are a collection of ancient Hindu scriptures that offer mystic knowledge. It is believed that by studying the Upanishads, one can gain insight into the nature of reality and the relationship between the individual and the divine. So the Upanishads are a collection of ancient Hindu scriptures that offer mystic knowledge. It talks about the relationship between the individual and the divine. What is idealism? A philosophical view that reality is made up of ideas. B, a belief in the power of the individual. C, a system of thought that emphasizes the importance of physical objects. D, a belief in the power of the collective. Which is the right one? What is the definition of idealism in other words? A philosophical view that reality is made up of ideas. Idealism comes from ideaism. Ideas. So from ideas only that word comes. Idealism. A philosophical view that reality is made up of ideas. Idealism is a philosophical view, not practical, philosophical view that reality is made up of ideas rather than physical objects. It believes that the world and all its contents are composed of the mental constructs of our mind, construct of our minds. What is the main difference between idealism and realism? See for yourself all the four options. What is the main difference between idealism and realism? Right. Idealism believes that reality is made up of ideas, whereas realism believes that reality is made up of physical objects. That is the correct answer. So it talks about the physical objects, idealism talks about ideas. The main difference between idealism and realism is that idealism believes that reality is made up of ideas, whereas realism believes that reality is made up of physical objects. Physical world, in other words. What is the nature of reality according to idealism? A. Reality is composed of physical objects. B. Reality is composed of mental constructs of our own minds. C. Reality is composed of laws of nature. D. Reality is composed of the collective power of individuals. So the correct answer will be reality is composed of mental constructs of our own minds. Construct or construct, anyway, okay. Mental constructs of our own minds. According to idealism, reality is composed of mental constructs of our own minds. It believes that the world and all its contents are composed of the mental constructs of our minds and not physical objects. What is the purpose of idealism? A. To provide a more realistic view of reality. B. To provide a more optimistic view of reality. C. To provide a more scientific view of reality. D. To provide a more spiritual view of reality. What is the correct answer? This is to provide a more optimistic view of reality. The purpose of idealism is to provide a more optimistic view of reality. Idealism believes that reality is composed of ideas rather than physical objects, and this view of reality offers a more optimistic outlook on life. What is the relationship between idealism and ethics? A. Idealism emphasizes the importance of ethical behavior. B. Idealism believes that ethical behavior is not important. C. Idealism believes that ethical behavior is only important for certain individuals. D. Idealism believes that ethical behavior is irrelevant. What is the correct answer? Idealism emphasizes the importance of ethical behavior. It talks about ethical behavior, no doubt. Truth, beauty, goodness, purely ethical behavior. Truth, goodness and beauty. It revolves around ethical behavior. Sorry for it. Yes. Idealism emphasizes the importance of ethical behavior as it believes that our actions should be guided by our ideas of what is right and wrong. It believes that ethical behavior is necessary for a better world and it should be a priority for individuals. Ethical world. What is the relationship between idealism and religion? A. Idealism believes that religion should be an important part of life. B. Idealism believes that religion has no place in life. C. Idealism believes that religion is irrelevant. D. Idealism believes that religion is necessary for a better world. Well, what is the correct answer? Idealism believes that religion should be an important part of life. Even though, specifically they don't mention God, truth, beauty, goodness, the reality, supernatural element, all these things, refer to God only. That way, idealism believes that religion should be an important part of life. Idealism believes that religion should be an important part of life, as it believes that religious beliefs can help us understand our place in the world and our relationship with each other. It believes that religious beliefs can help us make ethical decisions and lead a more meaningful and fulfilling life. What is the relationship between idealism and science? A. Idealism believes that science should be rejected. B. Idealism believes that science should be accepted. C. Idealism believes that science is irrelevant. D. Idealism believes that science is necessary for a better world. What is the correct answer? Idealism believes that science should be accepted. Idealism believes that science should be accepted as it believes that scientific knowledge can help us better understand the world and make ethical decisions. It believes that science is an important tool for understanding the world and should be used in combination with other forms of knowledge. What is the relationship between idealism and art? What is the relationship between idealism and art? A. Idealism believes that art should be rejected. B. Idealism believes that art should be accepted. C. Idealism believes that art is irrelevant. D. Idealism believes that art is necessary for a better world. The correct answer will be idealism believes that art should be accepted. Idealism believes that art should be accepted as it believes that art is an important tool for understanding and expressing our ideas about the world. It believes that art can help us connect with each other and make ethical decisions and should be valued and appreciated. What is the main principle of idealism philosophy in education? A. That all knowledge is based on experience. B. That all knowledge is based on faith. C. That all knowledge is based on reality. D. That all knowledge is based on the mind. So what is the main principle of idealism philosophy? That is, all knowledge is based on the mind, because ideas come from the mind. Idealism philosophy in education is based on the belief that all knowledge is based on the mind, meaning that knowledge is acquired through the use of thought and reason. How does idealism philosophy in education view the role of the teacher? A. As a facilitator, B. as a mentor, C. as a dictator, D. as a creator. What is the correct answer? As a mentor. Teacher is looked upon as a mentor. Idealism philosophy in education views the role of the teacher as a mentor, meaning that the teacher should guide and encourage the student to think critically and develop their own understanding of the material. What is the primary goal of idealism philosophy in education? A. To prepare students for the workforce. B. To develop character and morality. C. To teach students to be obedient. D. To make students excel in academics. So what is the correct answer? What is the primary goal of idealism philosophy? That is to develop character and morality. The primary goal of idealism philosophy in education is to develop character and morality in students, as well as to help them develop their own understanding of the material rather than just memorizing facts. How does idealism philosophy in education view the role of the student? A. As passive learners, B. as active participants, C. as obedient followers, D. as independent thinkers. So as independent thinkers, idealism philosophy in education views the role of the student as independent thinkers. Idealism philosophy in education views the role of the student as an independent thinker, meaning that the student should be allowed to think and develop their own understanding of the material rather than merely memorizing facts. What is the importance of idealism philosophy in education? that is to prepare students for the workforce. B, to help students develop their character. C, to teach students to be obedient. D, to make students excellent academics. That is to help students develop their character. The importance of idealism philosophy in education is to help students develop their character as well as to help them develop their own understanding of the material rather than just memorizing facts. What is the difference between idealism philosophy in education and the realism philosophy in education? See all the four options. Idealism focuses on the mind while realism focuses on the material world. The difference between idealism philosophy in education and the realism philosophy in education is that idealism focuses on the mind, meaning that knowledge should be acquired through the use of thought and reason, while realism focuses on the material world, meaning that knowledge should be acquired through observation and experience. That is the difference. What is the main tenet of idealism, principle of idealism? A, that reality is made up of physical objects. B, that reality is made up of mental representations. C, that reality is made up of both physical and mental components. D, the reality is a construct of the mind. So what is the correct answer? The reality is made up of mental representations. Idealism is the philosophical belief that reality is made up of mental representations and that physical objects are secondary to these representations. This is in stark contrast to materialism, which holds that physical objects are the only reality. What is the concept of the absolute in idealism? A, the belief in a higher power. B, the belief in a unified spiritual force. C, the belief in a singular undivided reality. D, the belief in a unified material force. What is the correct answer? What is the concept of the absolute in idealism? The belief in a singular undivided reality. The concept of the absolute is central to idealism and holds that reality is a unified undivided whole. This is in contrast to the belief in dualism, which holds that reality is composed of two separate realms, physical and mental. So, according to idealism, the concept of the absolute is central to idealism. It says reality is a unified and undivided whole. What is the concept of the world mind in idealism? World mind, universal mind. A divine being that governs the universe. B, the spiritual mind as it experiences reality. C, a collective consciousness that binds all minds together. D, a single unified source of knowledge and understanding. Answer D, a single unified source of knowledge and understanding. The concept of the world mind is central to idealism and holds that there is a single unified source of knowledge and understanding that binds all minds together. This concept is in contrast to dualism, which opposite to dualism, which holds that reality is composed of two separate worlds, physical and mental. What is the concept of transcendentalism in idealism? Transcendentalism means going beyond oneself. Forgetting oneself, going beyond. That's the understanding of transcendentalism. A, the reality is beyond physical objects. B, the reality is beyond the material world. C, the reality is beyond mental representations. D, the reality is beyond the individual mind. That reality is beyond the individual mind. That is called transcendentalism. It is something unique, in the universe, and one is unable to reach that, without some efforts. That reality is beyond the individual mind. That reality is beyond the individual mind. That is the correct answer. That is called transcendentalism. Transcendentalism is a concept central to idealism and holds that reality is beyond the individual mind. This is in contrast to materialism, which holds that physical objects are the only reality. Now, that is why we say, as human beings, we must aim at truth, beauty and goodness somewhere in the world. That is transcendentalism. How does idealism differ from pragmatism? Just see for yourself all the options. How does idealism differ from pragmatism? So here, pragmatism holds that physical objects are the only reality. Idealism and pragmatism are two distinct philosophical traditions. Pragmatism holds that physical objects are the only reality, while idealism holds that reality is composed of mental representations. What is the concept of universal mind in idealism? It is a single unified source of knowledge and understanding. The concept of the universal mind is central to idealism and holds that there is a single unified source of knowledge and understanding that binds all minds together. This concept, in contrast to dualism, which holds that reality is composed of two separate worlds, physical and mental. What is the idealist view on the nature of truth? What is the idealist view on the nature of truth? That truth is relative and subjective. B. The truth is absolute and objective. C. The truth is the construct of the mind. D. The truth is beyond physical objects. Correct answer will be that truth is absolute and objective. Idealism holds that truth is absolute and objective and that it is discovered through the use of reason and the study of mental representations. This is in contrast to relativism, which holds that truth is relative and subjective. What is the concept of the world soul in idealism? That is a collective consciousness that binds all minds together. The concept of the world soul is central to idealism. Of course, we have explained enough. What is the idealist view on the nature of reality? We know that reality is a construct of the mind. Idealism holds that the reality is a construct of the mind and that physical objects are secondary to mental representations. This is in stark contrast to materialism, which holds that physical objects are the only reality. What is the main belief of naturalism philosophy? That is, nature is the only reality. Naturalism is a philosophical viewpoint that holds that there is only one reality, which is the natural world. It states that everything in the universe is composed of matter and energy and that all life is interrelated. Nature is seen as the only reality and materialism is the only truth. So, nature is seen as the only reality and materialism, that is objects. No? So, materialism is the only truth. The world of objects is the only truth. What is the main goal of naturalism philosophy? That is to gain knowledge of the natural world. The main goal of naturalism is to gain knowledge of the natural world through observation, experimentation, and analysis. Naturalism does not promote any particular religious beliefs or seek to increase human happiness or create a unified society. Which of the following is an example of naturalism philosophy? That is studying the stars. There is a natural thing, natural phenomenon. Naturalism is a philosophical viewpoint that holds there is only one reality, which is the natural world. An example of this philosophy is studying the stars, which involves observing and analyzing their movements and composition. Praying to a god, believing in miracles, and creating art are not examples of naturalism, no doubt about it. What is the main purpose of naturalism philosophy? A. To increase human happiness. B. To gain knowledge of the natural world. C. To create a unified society. D. To promote religious beliefs. What is the correct answer? To gain knowledge of the natural world. So we already explained enough. Naturalism is a philosophical viewpoint that holds that there is only one reality, which is the natural world. How does naturalism philosophy view the universe? A. As having a spiritual essence, as having a divine purpose. C. As composed of matter and energy. D. As being controlled by fate. So what is the correct answer? As composed of matter and energy. This is how it sees the world, universe. Naturalism philosophy views the world as composed of matter and energy. So according to naturalism, the universe is composed of matter and energy. Naturalism states that everything in the universe is composed of matter and energy, and that all life is interrelated. Naturalism does not view the universe as having a spiritual essence, having a divine purpose, and being controlled by fate. No, it doesn't believe in all this. It believes in matter and energy. What does naturalism philosophy believe about the concept of truth? A, it is subjective. B, it is absolute. C, it is materialistic. D, it is relative. C, it is materialistic. According to naturalism, the only truth is materialistic. This means that everything in the universe is composed of matter and energy, and that all life is interrelated. Naturalism does not believe that truth is subjective, absolute, or relative. Which of the following is not a belief of naturalism philosophy? A, nature is the only reality. B, materialism is the only truth. C, life has a spiritual purpose. D, all life is interrelated. Life has a spiritual purpose. So this is not a belief of naturalism philosophy. Life has a spiritual purpose. It doesn't believe in spirituality at all. So naturalism is a philosophical viewpoint that holds there is only one reality, which is the natural world. It states that everything in the universe is composed of matter and energy, and that all life is interrelated. Nature is seen as the only reality, and materialism is the only truth. Naturalism does not believe that life has a spiritual purpose. How does naturalism philosophy view the concept of morality? A, as subjective, B, as absolute, C, as a relative, D, as materialistic. As subjective, each one is responsible like. Naturalism does not believe in absolute or relative morality, but rather views morality as subjective. This means that what is moral for one person may not be moral for another, and that morality is based on individual beliefs and values. Naturalism does not view morality as materialistic. What is the main difference between naturalism philosophy and idealism philosophy? See for yourself the options. That is, naturalism believes in materialism, while idealism does not believe in materialism. They believe in spiritualism. The main difference between naturalism and idealism is that naturalism believes in materialism, while idealism does not believe in materialism. Naturalism is a philosophical viewpoint that holds that there is only one reality, which is the natural world, and that everything in the universe is composed of matter and energy. Idealism is a philosophical viewpoint that holds that reality is ultimately mental or spiritual in nature. Naturalism does not believe in a spiritual reality, the power of nature, or the power of the individual. So the idea is here, naturalism does not believe in a spiritual reality, but believes in the power of nature or the power of the individual. What is the main focus of naturalism philosophy? To increase human happiness. B, to gain knowledge of the natural world. C, to create a unified society. D, to promote religious beliefs. To gain knowledge of the natural world. According to naturalism, what is the purpose of education? A, to instill moral values. B, to develop the intellect. C, to provide basic skills. D, to increase student achievement, that is to develop the intellect. Naturalism is a philosophy of education that emphasizes the development of the intellect through the study of natural phenomena and the natural world. It is based on the belief that intellectual development leads to a fuller and more meaningful life. How does naturalism view the role of the teacher? A, as an authoritarian figure. B, as a facilitator of learning. C, as a source of knowledge. D, as a disciplinarian. So what is the correct answer? As a facilitator of learning. Naturalism views the role of the teacher as a facilitator of learning rather than as the authoritarian figure or source of knowledge. The teacher's role is to help the student explore the world and develop their intellect rather than to impart information. According to naturalism, how should students be evaluated? Through tests and quizzes, or through observation and discussion, C through grades, D through standardized tests. So what is the correct answer? Through observation and discussion. Naturalism emphasizes the importance of observation and discussion in evaluating student progress. Tests and quizzes may be used to supplement this process, but the focus should be on the student's ability to think critically and engage in meaningful dialogue. So, through observation and discussion is the correct answer. What are the three main goals of naturalism in education? That is to develop the intellect, to provide basic skills, and to increase student achievement. The three main goals of naturalism are to develop the intellect, to provide basic skills, and to increase student achievement. Naturalism emphasizes the importance of intellectual development while also recognizing the need to provide students with the skills they need to succeed in life. So the three main goals of naturalism: to develop the intellect, to provide basic skills, and to increase student achievement, especially in education. How does naturalism view the role of technology in education? A as necessary, B as beneficial, C as a hindrance, D as unnecessary. As beneficial, because it is also part of the things, object world. So naturalism views technology as beneficial in education as it can be used to facilitate the exploration and understanding of the natural world. Technology can also be used to supplement traditional classroom instruction and to provide students with the opportunities to engage in meaningful and interactive learning activities. What is the relationship between naturalism and the traditional model of education? A. Naturalism is the alternative to the traditional model. B. Naturalism is a supplement to the traditional model. C. Naturalism is an extension of the traditional model. D. Naturalism is an improvement on the traditional model. So, naturalism is an alternative to the traditional model. Naturalism is an alternative to the traditional model of education, emphasizing the importance of intellectual development through the study of natural phenomena and the natural world. It is based on the belief that intellectual development leads to a fuller and more meaningful life. What is the primary focus of naturalism in education? Just see for yourself the four options. The exploration of the natural world, that's very important, because the primary focus of naturalism in education is the exploration of the natural world, to gain knowledge in the natural world. Naturalism emphasizes the exploration of the natural world as the primary focus of education. It is based on the belief that intellectual development leads to a fuller and more meaningful life, and that this development can be facilitated by exploring the natural world. How does naturalism view the relationship between students and teachers? A as hierarchical, B as cooperative, C as competitive, D as independent. That is as cooperative. Naturalism views the relationship between students and teachers as cooperative rather than hierarchical. The teacher's role is to help students explore the world and develop their intellect rather than to impart information. This cooperative relationship encourages students to ask questions, explore their interests, and take ownership of their learning. What is the goal of naturalism in education? To provide basic skills, B to instill moral values, C to increase student achievement, D to develop the intellect. So the develop the intellect, that is the goal of naturalism in education, to develop the intellect. Among these four options we have to take the right one, so that way it is to develop the intellect. The goal of naturalism in education is to develop the intellect through the study of natural phenomena and the natural world. Naturalism is based on the belief that intellectual development leads to a fuller and more meaningful life, and that this development can be facilitated by exploring the natural world. What is the primary purpose of pragmatism in education? A. To teach students to think critically. B. To teach students to be creative. C. To teach students to solve problems. D. To teach students to be self-reliant. What is the correct answer? To teach students to solve problems. That is the primary purpose of pragmatism in education. To teach students to solve problems. Pragmatism in education is a philosophical approach that emphasizes practical problem solving. It focuses on teaching students to think critically and to solve problems in order to achieve their goals. What is the main idea behind existentialism in education? Existentialism. A. That reality is relative. B. That knowledge is subjective. C. That life is meaningless. D. That the individual is responsible for their own actions. What is the correct idea? Main idea behind existentialism, that is, the individual is responsible for their own actions. They take life into their hands. The individual is responsible for their own actions. That is the main idea behind existentialism in education. Existentialism in education is a philosophical approach that states that the individual is responsible for their own actions and that life has no inherent meaning. It emphasizes a person's freedom to choose and to create their own meaning in life. So the personal responsibility, existentialism emphasizes on the individuals. What is the main goal of realism in education? Main goal of realism in education, that is to teach students to think logically. B. To teach students to be creative. C. To teach students to be self-reliant. D. To teach students to be responsible. The correct answer will be to teach students to think logically. That is the idea of realism, goal of realism. In other words, the certain amount of scientific principles are involved in realism. Realism in education is a philosophical approach that states that reality is an orderly, logical system and that knowledge is acquired by observation and reasoning. It emphasizes teaching students to think logically and to understand the laws of nature. What is the primary focus of transcendentalism in education? Already we have come across this question. To teach students to appreciate beauty. Here, out of these four you have to take. Transcendentalism means to go beyond the individual. So according to that meaning, given four alternatives, we have to choose one of the alternatives according to the definition of transcendentalism. So that is the idea. So that way, to teach students to appreciate beauty, that comes closer to the correct answer. To teach students to appreciate beauty. Transcendentalism in education is a philosophical approach that states that beauty is a source of knowledge and that humans should strive to appreciate it. That's why idealism talks about truth, beauty and goodness. No, I hope you understand this. So truth, beauty and goodness, it is because of that. Transcendentalism in education, a philosophical approach that states that beauty is a source of knowledge and that humans should strive to appreciate it. Truth, beauty and goodness, people should strive to reach that, in other words. So it emphasizes teaching students to appreciate beauty and to think critically about how it can be used to improve their lives. What is the main idea behind postmodernism in education? What is the main idea behind postmodernism in education? A. That knowledge is relative. B. That knowledge is subjective. C. That knowledge is innate. D. That knowledge is acquired through experience. That knowledge is relative. Postmodernism in education is a philosophical approach that states that knowledge is relative and that there is no single objective truth. It emphasizes teaching students to think critically and to question accepted ideas and beliefs. What is the main concept of humanism in education? A. That knowledge is acquired through experience. B. That knowledge is innate. C. That knowledge is relative. D. That knowledge is subjective. According to this humanism, knowledge is innate. It is inside, in other words. Humanism in education is a philosophical approach that states that knowledge is innate and that humans have the ability to develop their own potential. It emphasizes teaching students to think critically and to be independent and self-directed. What is the primary focus of constructivism in education? A. To teach students to be creative. B. To teach students to think critically. C. To teach students to solve problems. D. To teach students to be self-reliant. So what is constructivism in education? That is to teach students to think critically. That is constructivism. Critical idea, to think critically. Constructivism in education is a philosophical approach that emphasizes teaching students to think critically and to construct their own knowledge. It holds that knowledge is not static but is constantly changing and evolving. So, students should construct their own knowledge. They should think critically in life. That is the idea of constructivism in education. What is the main goal of existentialism in education? Existence, already we have seen that. A. To teach students to be self-reliant. B. To teach students to think critically. C. To teach students to solve problems. D. To teach students to appreciate beauty. So, what is the correct answer? To teach students to be self-reliant. Existentialism in education is a philosophical approach that emphasizes teaching students to be self-reliant and to take responsibility for their own actions. It holds that life is meaningless and that individuals must create their own meaning. What is the primary purpose of phenomenology in education? A. To teach students to think logically. B. To teach students to be creative. C. To teach students to be self-reliant. D. To teach students to understand their experiences. So the primary purpose of phenomenology is to understand their experiences. So that is the correct answer, to teach students to understand their experiences. Phenomenology in education is a philosophical approach that emphasizes teaching students to understand their experiences and to find meaning in those experiences. It holds that knowledge is subjective and the reality is experienced through the senses. Very important one. So the observation, all these things come here. What is the main idea of pragmatism? What is the main idea of pragmatism? A. Life is a journey of self-discovery. B. Truth is relative to the situation. C. Reality is based on scientific facts. D. People should live life to the fullest. So what is the main idea of pragmatism? That is, truth is relative to the situation, relative to the situation. It is not absolute, in other words. It is not absolute, not once and for all fixed. No, it is always changing. Truths are relative, means they are always changing. That is the idea here. So truth is relative to the situation. Pragmatism is a philosophy that holds that the truth of any idea or belief is determined by its practical consequences and applications. This means that truth is relative to the situation and can change depending on the context. Who is considered the founder of pragmatism? A. Friedrich Nietzsche. B. William James. C. Immanuel Kant. D. Bertrand Russell. William James. William James is considered the founder of pragmatism, which he developed in the late 19th century. He was an American philosopher and psychologist who believed in the idea that truth can be determined by examining the practical consequences and applications of ideas or beliefs. So this is the basis of pragmatism. That is, the truth can be determined by examining the practical consequences and the applications of ideas or beliefs. If something is not useful, we have to consider of throwing it. That is the idea here. The practical consequences and applications of ideas or beliefs. What is the opposite of pragmatism? A. Positivism. B. Empiricism. C. Idealism. C. Real. Idealism. Idealism is the opposite of pragmatism. Idealism is a philosophy that holds the reality is based on ideas and that a perfect ideal form exists in an ideal world. Pragmatism, on the other hand, holds that truth is relative to the situation and can be determined by examining the practical consequences and applications of ideas or beliefs. What is the most important aspect of pragmatism? A. Science. B. Experience. C. Theory. D. Faith. That is experience. The most important aspect of pragmatism is experience. Pragmatists believe that the truth of any idea or belief can be determined by examining the practical consequences and applications of it. This means that knowledge is based on our experience of the world. What is the goal of pragmatism? A. To understand the world. B. To create a perfect society. C. To find a universal truth. D. To improve our lives. That is, to improve our lives. The goal of pragmatism is to improve our lives. Pragmatism believes that the truth of any idea or belief can be determined by examining the practical consequences and applications of it. This means that knowledge should be used to improve our lives by solving practical problems in the world. What is the difference between pragmatism and positivism? Just see for yourself the options. Pragmatism emphasizes experience while positivism emphasizes facts. So the pragmatism is a philosophy that holds that the truth of any idea or belief is determined by the practical consequences and applications. Next one. How does pragmatism view the concept of truth? A. Truth is absolute and unchanged. B. Truth is relative and situational. C. Truth is based on scientific facts. D. Truth is based on personal experience. How does pragmatism view the concept of truth? Truth is a relative and situational. We already explained to you. I hope you understood that. Which is a key component of pragmatism. Experimentation. Experimentation. Experimentation is a key component of pragmatism. Pragmatists believe that the truth of any idea or belief can be determined by examining the practical consequences and applications of it. What is the main concept of pragmatism philosophy? Out of these four alternatives, that knowledge is based on experience. That is the main concept of pragmatism philosophy, that knowledge is based on experience. Pragmatism philosophy states that knowledge is based on experience and it is constantly evolving based on the changing circumstances. It suggests that knowledge must be tested and evaluated in order to determine its validity and usefulness. According to pragmatism philosophy, how do we determine the truth? A. Through our senses. B. Through our intuition. C. Through logical reasoning. D. Through faith. Through our senses actually. Pragmatism philosophy. How do we determine the truth? Through our senses. Pragmatists believe that truth is determined through our senses and our ability to observe and interact with the world around us. They argue that truth is not absolute and can change depending on the situation. What is the difference between pragmatism philosophy and idealism? See for yourself all the four options. What is the difference between pragmatism philosophy and idealism? What is the correct answer? Pragmatism is focused on the practical application of knowledge, while idealism is focused on abstract theories. One of the four statements is this one. This is the correct one. Pragmatism is focused on the practical application of knowledge, while idealism is focused on abstract theories or concepts that cannot be tested in the real world. When they talk about truth, beauty, and goodness, how can how can they be put into test? It is not possible. No, it's not amenable to research. Truth, beauty, goodness. It's a concept, maybe our personal experience, but then it cannot be put into any serious research as such. That's why we say idealism is focused on abstract theories or concepts that cannot be tested in the real world. Pragmatism seeks to find solutions to problems in the here and now, while idealism is focused on a more theoretical approach to problem solving. That is the difference. Of course, we will understand all these facts so easily. What is the main difference between pragmatism and realism? Just see for yourself all the four alternatives. That is B. That is pragmatism is focused on the practical application of knowledge, while realism is focused on abstract theories. Pragmatism is focused on the practical application of knowledge, while realism is focused on the abstract theories or concepts that cannot be tested in the real world. Pragmatism seeks to find solutions to problems in the here and now, while realism is focused on a more theoretical approach to problem solving. That is the difference. Once again, we see that it is very important. Pragmatism is focused on the practical application of knowledge, while realism is focused on the abstract theories or concepts that cannot be tested in the real world. Pragmatism seeks to find solutions to problems in the here and now, while realism is focused on a more theoretical approach to problem solving. What is the main goal of pragmatism philosophy? One of the four options. Pragmatism philosophy is focused on finding solutions to the problems in the present. It emphasizes the importance of testing and evaluating ideas in order to determine their validity and usefulness. What is the difference between pragmatism and existentialism? That is, pragmatism is focused on finding solutions to the problems in the present, while existentialism is focused on the individual's free will, independence. Free person, free individual. So that is the difference. Pragmatism is focused on finding solutions to the problems in the present, while existentialism is focused on the individual's free will and the importance of personal responsibility in determining their own destiny. Both philosophies emphasize the importance of making decisions in the here and now. According to pragmatism philosophy, what is the most reliable source of knowledge? A. Our senses. B. Our intuition. C. Logical reasoning. D. Faith. Our senses. Pragmatists believe that knowledge is determined through our senses and our ability to observe and interact with the world around us. They argue that truth is not absolute and can change depending on the situation. What is the main difference between pragmatism and utilitarianism? What is the main difference between pragmatism and utilitarianism? Pragmatism is focused on the practical application of knowledge, while utilitarianism is focused on the greatest good for the greatest number. It's a very interesting question, this one. Something unusual, but nevertheless it is part of philosophy. So it could be asked, why not? So pragmatism is focused on the practical application of knowledge, while utilitarianism is focused on the greatest good for the greatest number. Pragmatism is focused on the practical application of knowledge, while utilitarianism is focused on achieving the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Pragmatism seeks to find solutions to problems in the present, here and now, while utilitarianism is focused on a more long-term approach to problem solving. That is the difference. So the immediate solutions to the problem, pragmatism, it is a long-term approach to problem solving. That is utilitarianism for the large number of people, the greatest good for the greatest number. What is the main difference between pragmatism and skepticism? What is skepticism? Doubting, doubt. So, what is the difference between these two? Pragmatism is focused on finding solutions to the problems in the present, while skepticism is focused on questioning the validity of knowledge. It will be questioning out of doubt, skepticism. So, the pragmatism is focused on finding solutions to the problems in the present, while skepticism is focused on questioning the validity of knowledge and challenging accepted beliefs and theories. Pragmatism seeks to find solutions to problems in the present, while skepticism is focused on a more theoretical approach to problem solving. What is the main difference between pragmatism and constructivism? That is, pragmatism is focused on finding solutions to the problems in the present, while constructivism is focused on creating new knowledge. Very important one. Pragmatism is focused on finding solutions to the problems in the present, now, here and now, while constructivism is focused on creating new knowledge. Pragmatism is focused on finding solutions to the problems in the present, while constructivism is focused on creating new knowledge and finding strange or novel ways or new ways to solve problems. Pragmatism seeks to find solutions to problems in the here and now, while constructivism is focused on a more creative approach to problem solving. So that's the difference between pragmatism and constructivism. So constructivism is focused on a more creative approach to problem solving. So it may take a longer time perhaps. What is the core value of pragmatism philosophy? A. Self-interest. B. Self-reflection. C. Social utility. D. Rationalism. Social utility. Pragmatism is a philosophical system that emphasizes practical results over theoretical ideas. Its core value is that the usefulness, workability, and practicability of ideas, policies, and actions are the primary determinants of their merit. Therefore, the value of social utility is at the core of pragmatism philosophy. Social utility. That is the core value of pragmatism. What is the origin of pragmatism philosophy? American. Of course, it came from an American philosopher, so it is American. Pragmatism was initially developed in the United States in the late 19th century by Charles Sanders Peirce, William James, and John Dewey. It was then adopted by other philosophers from around the world. What is the main purpose of pragmatism philosophy? Of course, you can go through it again. Pragmatism was initially developed in the United States in the late 19th century by Charles Sanders Peirce, William James, and John Dewey. It was then adopted by other philosophers. Yes. What is the main purpose of pragmatism philosophy? To find a better way to live. That's very practical. No, pragmatism, practical. So to find a better way to live is the correct answer. Pragmatism is a philosophical system that emphasizes practical results over theoretical ideas. Its main purpose is to help people to find a better way to live in the real world. What is the primary focus of pragmatism philosophy? Primary focus. A. Theoretical systems. B. Practical results. C. Social values. D. Scientific principles. Practical results. Primary focus of pragmatism philosophy is practical results. Pragmatism is a philosophical system that emphasizes practical results over theoretical ideas. Its primary focus is on the practical results of ideas, policies, and actions. What is the main goal of pragmatism philosophy? A. To understand the world. B. To find the truth. C. To create a better future. D. To solve complex problems. That is, to create a better future. Pragmatism is a philosophical system that emphasizes practical results over theoretical ideas. What is the primary focus of pragmatism philosophy? That is, creating a better future. Among the four, that is the right answer. No, creating a better. Already we have seen that. Very sorry that it comes again and again, maybe in different words. What is the main idea of pragmatism philosophy? A. Self-interest. B. Self-reflection. C. Social utility. D. Rationalism. Certainly social utility. Pragmatism is a philosophical system that emphasizes practical results over theoretical ideas. Its main idea is that the usefulness, workability, and practicability of ideas, policies, and actions, they are the primary determinants of their merit. Therefore, the value of social utility is at the core of pragmatism philosophy. What is the main focus of pragmatism philosophy? I already seen that. Social utility. I think sometimes repeated. Very sorry that it has happened. What is the primary principle of pragmatism philosophy? Once again, social utility. What is pragmatism philosophy in education? That is, pragmatism philosophy in education is a school of thought that views education as a practical activity aimed at developing useful knowledge and skills. So this is very important. What is pragmatism philosophy in education? It's a very nice question. Pragmatism philosophy in education is a school of thought that views education as a practical activity aimed at developing useful knowledge and skills. Pragmatism philosophy in education views education as a practical activity aimed at developing useful knowledge and skills that can be applied to everyday life. This philosophy rejects the idea that education should be an intellectual exercise focused solely on abstract ideas. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of learning practical skills that can be used in the real world. That's very important in education. What is the main goal of pragmatism philosophy in education? to develop abstract ideas, to develop useful knowledge and skills, to develop ethical values, to develop social awareness, to develop useful knowledge and skills. The main goal of pragmatism philosophy in education is to develop useful knowledge and skills that can be applied to everyday life. Next one, what is an example of pragmatism philosophy in education? Out of these four, what is an example of pragmatism philosophy in education? A. Memorizing facts. B. Learning a foreign language. C. Debating philosophical issues. D. Analyzing literature. So the pragmatism means it should be practical. No? So learning a foreign language, that is useful in life. No? So that is the correct example. Learning a foreign language. Learning a foreign language is an example of pragmatism philosophy in education. This philosophy emphasizes the importance of learning useful skills that can be applied to everyday life. Learning a foreign language is a practical skill that can have real-world applications, such as being able to communicate with other people in different countries. What is an example of an activity that is not in line with pragmatism philosophy in education? What is an example of an activity that is not in line with the pragmatism philosophy in education? Learning to drive a car. B. Memorizing facts. C. Debating philosophical issues. D. Analyzing literature. Debating philosophical issues will not come here in pragmatism philosophy. Debating philosophical issues is an example of an activity that is not in line with the pragmatism philosophy in education. This philosophy emphasizes the importance of learning practical skills that can be applied to everyday life. Debating philosophical issues is not a practical skill and it is not applicable to everyday life. Next question, what is the primary focus of pragmatism philosophy in education? That is practical skills. The primary focus of pragmatism philosophy in education is practical skills. This philosophy emphasizes the importance of learning practical skills that can be applied to everyday life. It rejects the idea that education should be an intellectual exercise focused solely on abstract ideas. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of learning practical skills that can be used in the real world. What is the purpose of pragmatism philosophy in education? Again, it comes to develop useful knowledge and skills. How does pragmatism philosophy in education view education? As a practical activity only, it views education. So it views education, pragmatism views education as a practical activity. How does pragmatism philosophy in education view knowledge? As a means to an end. Pragmatism in education views knowledge as a means to an end. It's a ways to get the result. In other words, means to an end rather than as an end itself. As an end itself. This approach emphasizes the importance of applying knowledge to solve real-world problems and make a difference in people's lives. What is the main focus of pragmatism philosophy in education? That is problem-centered learning. Out of these four, student-centered learning, teacher-centered learning, knowledge-centered learning. So pragmatism means a problem-centered learning. Pragmatism in education focuses on problem-centered learning, which emphasizes the importance of learning through solving real-world problems. What is the main idea of realism philosophy? Knowledge is derived from the world of experience. That is realism. So I hope you understood this. Knowledge is derived from the world of experience. I don't know why the fog is there all on a sudden due to rainy clouds, no? Because of that, through the windows of, fog and a smoke-like thing comes probably. It's all right. So realism philosophy states that knowledge is based on the world of experience and not on abstract ideas or the scientific method. What is the realism philosophy's view on the human mind? So the human mind is a result of experiences according to realism. Realists believe that the human mind is formed by the experiences that it has and not by anything else. Human mind is formed by the experiences. That is what realism holds as the truth. What is the realism philosophy's view on the nature of truth? Truth is absolute and universal, both. Truth is absolute and universal. Realists believe that truth is absolute and universal and not subjective or relative. Whether the world exists, the reality exists independent of the individual. So that is what it will say. The realism says things exist, whether you are aware of it or not, things exist according to realism. What is the realism philosophy view on education? Education should be focused on the pursuit of knowledge. Realists believe that education should be focused on the pursuit of knowledge and not on any other pursuit. What is the realism philosophy's view on the nature of reality? Reality is absolute and external. No? That is what we have already seen, that realists believe that reality is absolute and external and not a result of a perception or an illusion. Whether we are aware of it or not, reality exists, things exist. That is its idea. What is the realism philosophy's view on the role of the teacher? The teacher is a source of knowledge. That is the idea. So he is the master of everything in a way. So he should be able to give his precious knowledge to the students. Realists believe that the teacher's role is to be a source of knowledge and not a facilitator of learning, source of inspiration or source of discipline. He must be a source of knowledge. In a way, he should be a master of knowledge, in other words, master of the world. What is the realism philosophy's view on the nature of knowledge? Knowledge is derived from experience. We have already seen that. Realists believe that knowledge is derived from experience and not innate or relative. What is the realism philosophy's view on the role of the student? The student is a recipient of knowledge. In a way, teacher is a potter and the student is a clay. And then the clay is to be formed by the potter. Likewise, the teacher has to form the student. That is the idea here. The student is a recipient of knowledge. Realists believe that the student's role is to be a recipient of knowledge and not an active learner, teacher or facilitator of learning. Teacher is not a facilitator of learning. Rather, he should be the master. In other words, he should be, he should be the master of learning, the master of the world. And the student should be getting knowledge from the teacher. Which of the following is a key concept of realism? Empiricism. As a key concept of realism is empiricism. Realism is a philosophical approach that emphasizes the importance of empirical evidence and is based on the idea that the external world exists independently. That is the idea of realism. So the empiricism that can be seen, that can be seen or proved. Whether we like it or not, it is there. If we want, we can prove that. That is the idea. Empiricism. So realism is a philosophical approach that emphasizes the importance of empirical evidence, and it is based on the idea that the external world exists independently. Whether you are aware of it or not, it exists. So the external world exists independently of our perceptions and beliefs about it. So empiricism is the process of gaining knowledge through observation and experience. It is a key concept of realism. So the world exists. If at all you want to see that through observation and experience, you must gain knowledge about the world. That is the idea of empiricism. So in realism, what is the role of the teacher? That is to lecture and provide information. Very important one. He is the master of the knowledge, so he has to impart knowledge to the student, to lecture and provide information. In realism, the teacher's primary role is to provide factual knowledge to students and to act as an authority figure. This is done through lectures and other methods of providing information. What is the primary focus of realism in education? That is acquiring factual knowledge. That is the main focus of realism in education. So realism in education focuses on the attainment of factual knowledge, acquisition of factual knowledge, which is believed to be the most effective way to learn and develop higher level thinking skills. So a very important one, acquiring factual knowledge. So what is the difference between realism and idealism in education? Realism focuses on teacher-centered instruction, while idealism focuses on student-centered instruction. So that is the idea here. Realism focuses on teacher-centered because teacher is everything here. Of course, idealism also talks about teacher's role, yes. But then, the students are also very important in idealism. They have to be molded as all-round, molded as complete students who are having all-round development. Now, that is the idea of idealism. So, a subtle difference is there. Realism focuses on teacher-centered instruction, while idealism focuses on student-centered instruction. Realism uses a teacher-centered approach to instruction, while idealism uses a student-centered approach. In realism, the teacher is the primary source of knowledge, while in idealism, the student is the primary source of knowledge. He has to get it from the teacher. Of course, teacher becomes a primary there also, but then students are active. Students are active. He is getting the critical knowledge about the world, etc. So that is idealism. The student is the primary source of knowledge. What is the main goal of idealism in education? To promote self-expression. The main goal of idealism in education is to promote self-expression and the development of abstract thinking skills. Idealism encourages students to explore their individual perspectives and to engage in creative thinking. That is the idea here, creative thinking by the students. What is